Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Dave Yerster. I am the president of the Managed Service Association of America. Today, we have an awesome person joining us. His name is Jay, and he is coming from TSplus Corp. He is the US director, and today he has a really awesome feature for tech providers, MSPs, to show you and how it works and how it can make your life so much easier. Jay, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having us here. Uh, really excited to be in this webinar. Uh,
Well, we're excited to have you. So, Jay, before we get into the actual product, very, very quickly, tell us about the company and what it is the company is going to be showing us in a few minutes.
sure. Yeah. So I do have my slide up on the screen.
Sure.
So let me. If you wanna, can everybody see this slide right now?
I'll put it on in a second, but before
Okay.
we get to the slide,
Sure.
Jay, just what is the company and what is it the
Sure.
company about?
Sure. Yes. Well, TS Plus started in France. That's where the product was developed, and since 2007. We have been developing remote access solutions, and we added advanced security, cybersecurity features to the product. And so it is a company that has been around for many years. In the US, we started TS Plus Corp in early 2020, and we have a team that works from the Irvine office. In my slides, I'm going to go through that actually.
Sure.
I will give you
Well,
more detail about the
I think
history
that's
and
a perfect time. Let's get your slide deck up, and then let's see
sure,
exactly what it is that you just mentioned and how it can benefit everyone. All right, Jay, I'm going to
absolutely.
add you to the slide deck now. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
And we'll put it like that for you. And then, all right, Jay, your slide deck is live, so you are
Perfect.
welcome to go right ahead. Thanks, everyone, and let's have a look at this presentation.
Thank you, Dave. Hello, everyone. As Dave mentioned, I'm the U.S. Director for the TS Plus Corp. And in this session, I will go over the products that we have and the solutions that we have for you. I gave you a little bit of a background earlier about the company and where it started. Currently, we have well over 8 million users. Um, there are 10 different regions. And of course, US and Canada is the region that Mike Jackson, Juan and I work from this region, where our office is in Irvine, California. Today is a very windy day here in Orange County. That's where the office is. As I mentioned, we work with MSPs, resellers, partners. We work with a lot of different partners, and so we'll go through some of the features. But this morning, I was going through some areas that I wanted to cover, and these questions came to my mind. It's like, how can MSPs secure their servers and stop brute force attacks, ransomware attacks? How can you create a, a secure workspace for your users, for your clients? And then you may be just trying to deliver one or two applications. You don't need a full desktop. And so we'll show you how TS Plus will help with that. Um, your support team has to deal with printing issues every day. Uh, what type of solutions do we have that could help you with printing? And again, one of the most important things is that, okay, well, you do want to have cybersecurity. You do want to give users remote access, but you don't have a unlimited budget. You want to be able to offer an affordable solution with a perpetual pricing model. And then, of course, you like to work with us as a partner. So these are some of the areas that we can help you. We can answer these questions for you. And so, from the beginning, our vision is to make it simple. I wanted to make it simple for you to create a web server, to be able to give users access to their applications and make sure it's secure. And so we're going to go through, show you how you set up the environment to deliver the application through the browser, and then also how to install the advanced security and configure it so that you could stop brute force attacks and also ransomware attacks. So we'll go through that in just a few minutes. We have three different editions, the most popular being the web mobile edition. If you're looking to uh, implement a server farm environment with many, many users, then we also have the enterprise edition that we can cover during our presentation. So let's go ahead and jump into our machine here that has the software running. Um, so I'm going to show you what the TS Plus home screen looks like, and then this is when after you install the software and you have the web server running, you can configure the web server to run on different ports. By default, it uses 443. So after you install, basically you'll be able to. I'm going to show you the different ways that you can log in. So you can create a custom page. This is my custom page. You can configure this page, change the background, change the logo, and basically just white label it if you choose to do so. You could take out any reference to TS Plus and replace these headers with your own images and change the background. So this is your main index page with two options, HTML5 or remote app. So we can log in to the different, this one would be like um, an application where oh, this is actually a login with multiple applications. I can choose the application that I want to run. So in this case, I may want to run like CodeWorks. So I launch CodeWorks and I can run um, the application inside the browser. Now you may also just want to deliver just one application. If you like to do that, you can. And this would be the full desktop presentation. If you want to give a user complete um, a virtual desktop, you can do that. Or if it's just a single app, the single app that you deliver, basically, they can run reports, and the reporting is very, very simple because here you can basically um, use the universal printer driver. With the universal printer driver, you don't need to install any additional printer drivers on the server. Basically, what is happening in the background is this PDF is generated and it's transferred to the local machine, and now I can print to the local printer. This HP is connected to my local machine. I can print to that directly. Very simple. So you're only supporting basically just one printer driver on the server. As you log off this application, the session gets disconnected. Okay. So this would be the one that I was showing you that has multiple applications running, and I can minimize this application and run a different application. This is Navicat. I can minimize that one, and I can go back to my CodeWorks. Here I can even run Word. And you can see it's also very responsive. This is that right now just running on a Windows 10 Pro machine. Um, you could run on any server edition. I just happen to be running this inside this VMware workstation, and it has maybe about 8 or 9 gig allocated to it. Now, to deliver the application, it's very simple. You just simply go to the applications and you point to your application directory. For example, this is the CodeWorks one. And so you just point to the exe and the startup directory, and you give it a name, and then that's it. Once you've done that, you can then assign that application to a user or a group of users. And this is using Windows local users or Active Directory. So once that group, anyone from that group logs in, they'll be able to run that application. So you can either deliver just one application, multiple applications, or a virtual desktop to the users. Printing, we mentioned, it's very simplified with TS Plus. You really just have one printer driver called Nova PDF, and it's installed by default. And that's all you have to do. Now, if you have special type of printing needs, like maybe a receipt printer or label printer, we also have the virtual printer driver that's available. And the web mentioned to you that you can customize your index page. You can go into the web design and basically change anything you want here, change the logo, and then save. When you save, the index HTML gets updated, and you have your new login page. Any questions? Please type them in the chat box, or if you we can answer those during the presentation, or we can also answer some questions at the end. Now, on the web portal preferences, you can display the domain name if you choose to. You can also pre-populate the domain for your users. You have two options for login, HTML5 or remote app. Maybe you don't want to give any user access through remote app. You can disable that. This generated gateway, if you're planning to do a server farm, you would be choosing this option to customize the page so that it acts as a gateway. And then, of course, we have some options here for file upload, file download. Okay. Here under HTTPS, you can um, install your own certificate. If you have a regular single domain or wildcard certificate, you can register it here. And then, but if you don't have a paid one, you can use the free HTTP certificate, of course, using Let's Encrypt. And it's very easy. You just follow the wizard here, and it creates the certificate for you. That basically gives you the HTTPS access to the browser. As far as session management, it's very important. I think it's a very interesting area that we should cover. So you could have users log in and be able to capture their previous session. So if the user goes home, can continue to work at home, and uh, that would be this option. And then you could also have multiple sessions per user. This will be useful if you have only just one login uh, for the company, and then you control everything through maybe a different menu with different options for different applications. So you can set it up that way if you like to. And then, of course, you could also set up the times that they they're allowed to use the system, and then have them log off automatically, disconnect automatically. I'm going to look at just touch up on the server farm. I think this is an area that I don't think we can cover in such a short amount of time that we have. So I'm not just going to tell you that basically TS Plus does have uh, server farm features. So you could have a gateway server with reverse proxy and with load balancing. Then you can have as many application servers added to the farm. You can scale it. We have partners that work with many users, thousands of users on the server farm using TS Plus. And we have a lot of our partners that work with 3 or 4 or 5 users. So it's totally up to you. It's scalable. And then I'm going to ask Mike to join us to go over the advanced security in a minute. Hopefully, I think earlier he had some issues with the mic. Maybe if hopefully that's resolved, and then he can talk to us about advanced security. So I'm going to see if I can get Mike to come in to because security is very important, obviously, and we um, we want to show you uh, our TS Plus Advanced Security. Mike, can you join us? Can you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
Okay, great. Great.
perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So, Mike, can you go through some of the features of the advanced security for our audience here? Thank you.
Sure, I'd be happy to. One
Thank
moment, let me share the screen.
So, Jay, while we're waiting for Mike there for
Sure.
a second, so I'm watching this and I'm seeing that it's not just a typical remote tool. There's a lot more involved in the entire feature. So there's multiple areas. I even saw a section for invoicing a few minutes ago. Is that correct?
No, no, that I'm just using QuoteWorks as an application that is
Gotcha.
being delivered through the browser. It's a Windows application and it's being delivered through the browser. So I'm just basically using that as an example app.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Yes, yes,
thanks for clearing that up. Mike,
yes. No,
are you ready?
It is not coming up. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
that's,
It doesn't appear to want to bring up the screen that I'd be using.
that's fine. Maybe Mike, could just tell us about the features of advanced security because I know you have a lot of knowledge about this product. Go ahead.
I love advanced security. We've won numerous awards, and what I'd really love to show you this slide, but we have a history of ransomware, as we all know. Um, just in 2023, 2024, I'd like to highlight some of the cyber attacks. So it affects all of us. Number one on the list this year is Johnson Controls. $51 million they claimed from the Dark Angels group. 27 terabytes were encrypted using the ESXi. Um, Comcast, they were hit with a breach of 36 million individuals, and the exploit was in Citrix. Dollar Tree was hit. The Australian port operations were hit also, forcing about 30,000 ship containers at a standstill.
Yes.
And we know that every company, I'm sure every single one of us knows somebody that's been hit by ransomware, regardless of the size of the company. We all need to be protected. There's a good reason they have cybersecurity now. Um, there's a few features that encompasses TS Plus Advanced Security. Homeland Protection is one of them. So you could basically just allow connections from the United States only, if you wish. That will block out all other IPs that are trying to come in from outside the United States. You can drill that down to IP management, which you can blacklist, whitelist. So we have a global all the way down to IP management. We also have ransomware. This is the ticket. It helps prevent ransomware, as we know what that encompasses. We also have endpoint management, so you can confirm that those users are actually authorized to connect. Secure desktop is another component, another feature that will allow you to, if say you're providing a full desktop to a user, kind of scary for most of us. What can they get to? Secure desktop helps you, remove control panel, remove the command line, things of this nature. Used to be needed to be done individually. TS Plus Advanced Security makes it all easy to apply in one UI. And then you have file level permissions that you can do. We have brute force attacks and working hours.
Yes. Working hours very important. Yes.
Yes, yes. And if somebody's supposed to work from 8 to 5 and you want them to make sure that the only time that they can access any information at that time, that is the way to go,
Yes.
for that. With ransomware, there is a static analysis that that enables software to react immediately when an extension name changes. Ransomware goes through a learning process also, 24 to 48 hours, so it can analyze your system and not block anything that may be needed. So we have the static analysis and the behavioral analysis that looks how they interact with your systems, as stated previously.
Yes. This is actually live right now, and you can see that yesterday, these are the number of um, people that were trying to access my server here, this virtual machine uh, web server, and TSplus Advanced Security is stopping these attacks right here. You can see today, this morning, you can see at 5 in the morning, um, uh, somebody from India was trying to access my server. And so here in the homeland, I define that I only want access from the US and Canada. So you can see that it's stopping these attacks. And let me see if I can find one that is basically a US. This one is a US IP, but after 10 tries, uh, TS Plus Advanced Security stopped that attack also. This one is called Brute Force Defender. The other one is Homeland Protection.
Jay, I have a question for you if you don't
Sure,
mind.
sure, go ahead.
So, I see this. I see the attacks. Is there a section where a user can put in policies? So let's say, like you said, India, for example, right? If they have more than, say, 2 or 3 attacks, does it automatically block those IPs?
Yes, yes, that is a good question. Yes, you can set that number here, Dave. So here it says maximum failed login attempts from a single IP. So you could send that, you could lower that to 2 if you want to, 4 if you want to. By default, it's 10. So after
And
10
then,
tries,
so then what, they get blocked, and is that can I set a permanent block, or is it a block that's for 3 months? How does that work?
yes, it's blocked immediately, but you can go in there and whitelist that if you choose to. You could
Okay.
whitelist that IP.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people may, sometimes, whether it's forgotten password or whether they're going traveling, etc., etc. There is
Yes,
the human error element as well. So it's good to know that, because sometimes people make mistakes.
yes, that happens all the time. And you have to whitelist those IPs, and you could also get a list of IPs from your existing users and just whitelist those ahead of time. That's another way you could approach it, is to whitelist the ones that are active users. But in the homeland, if you notice, in this setup, I only allow access from US and Canada. You can also say you want to allow connections only from whitelisted IPs. You could switch it to this if you like to. It can even make it even more secure. Okay. Are there any questions in the chat at all that we can answer, or we can leave the questions at the end?
No questions just yet.
Okay.
Thanks, Jay.
Okay, perfect. So let me go ahead and Mike, did you want to add any more to the advanced security? Was there anything else that you needed
Uh,
to add?
I wish I wish I could with my presentation, but
Yeah,
I'd like to highlight the ransomware. I
yes,
just can't say enough for that. It includes registry retention. Allow PowerShell and CMD scripts if you want. You can isolate those, have those run. We currently have, with the ransomware and Homeland, if you're just selecting the United States, for instance, you've immediately blocked over 308 million IPs, and this continues to grow. with our software, you can opt in or opt out to share any unusual activity that then gets put in our database, and then we push that fix out to everybody that's using advanced security. So not only do we have the static and the behavioral analysis, we have that also. We have a community globally that shares odd behaviors that we can head off before um, any production downtime or any emergency.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Yes. So the other area that I wanted to cover is high availability. There are situations where you may have uh, need for users to have multiple application servers, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let me see if there's any other areas that in the admin tool that I like to cover. So this is our basically our own web server, and in the web server you can um, go ahead and let's go into TSplus web app. So in this area you can actually create a PWA. So by just giving it a shortcut name and pointing to your own icon, you can then enable the PWA feature. So when your users are visiting the page, they can actually install this as a web app, and they can actually run it as a progressive web app. That's one option that's really nice. The other areas that I wanted to cover is they're advanced. Under advanced, Mike, did you want to cover anything in that area?
It allowed. I can't quite see your screen, and I'm bringing up my VM
Sure,
boxes right now. I apologize.
no problem.
It allows you to set a pin for the admin tool. Uh,
Yes,
I can't quite read the screen, Jay, so I can't
that's okay. So
elaborate.
as far as the add-ons, we covered the TS Plus Advanced Security. Mike covered that very well. So the next add-on that I want to talk to you about is a 2FA. So if you want to add an additional layer of security, you can enable 2FA and then basically be able to use any authenticator app, Microsoft, Google, and you can even use SMS and email to provide the MFA to the clients. That feature is also available, and all of these add-ons are very affordable. You can visit the page and go over the pricing, and everything that we've covered so far, it's all based on perpetual pricing. So that's the main advantage. Um, the other the product that we want to cover and touch upon today is the TS Plus Remote Support. This is a completely different product. So uh, basically, you install it and you can provide remote support to your clients, very similar to other solutions out there like AnyDesk or TeamViewer. And again, it's very affordable, and the pricing is on the website. The final product that we offer as an add-on is TS Plus Server Monitoring to monitor your servers, even web pages. It doesn't have to be actually a server. It could even be a website that you're monitoring. And it can send you notifications if there's any kind of disruption. So the other topic that I was telling you about, like a server farm, when you're creating a server farm and you want to be able to create a high availability environment. So how does that work in TS Plus? So basically with TS Plus, you can install TS Plus on a hypervisor and turn on load balancing and then have a farm controller and then have multiple application servers. So I guess it is an advanced topic. It's not for everyone. If you're just trying to um, deliver one or two applications, this might be beyond that. I mean, it's just this is for a company maybe with many users, and they like to have high availability available. But I'm just going to touch up on some of the areas like how do you do that, and how do you set up a, a server farm, and how do you create redundancy. So this on a normally with a single server, this is what you would be looking at, um, and then this would be like with the hypervisor, you're creating multiple servers, VMs, and then you create like a single farm controller with load balancing, and then you may have a SQL database server that's connected to these app servers. Here you log into the gateway server. All the users log in through the gateway to the farm controller, and you can enable reverse proxy. Mike also has great information on the server farm, and I don't know if we have enough time to cover all the details, but you want to tell him a little bit about the server farm features, Mike?
Server farm is great. We have a load balancing feature, which is wonderful. It'll disperse all of your sessions um, by weighted measures, which you could set I/O, sessions, memory usage, CPU. If you're not interested in load balancing, let's say you have it's an enterprise box. You have your accounting server on one, or your accounting software on one server, and you might have your shipping and logistics software on another server. So you want to isolate based on application. We could do that too. That's what we refer to as assigned servers. So there's lots of ways to divide the server farm up. There is no limit. It is completely scalable. Um, we have customers that have redundant gateways and up to about 150 application servers. Kind of scary, but there's no limit.
Yes, thank you.
We also have reverse proxy. With reverse proxy, you do not need to have all of your servers publicly accessible. So you can reduce your exposure and have everything go through the gateway. And with reverse proxy, the information is then transmitted over the ports that you choose and over the LAN. So you don't have to expose that. Typically, what we see in a farm setting, we have 2FA and advanced security on the gateways, so you can protect yourself. We're aware that there are certain laws that do require 2FA. We have it integrated. You can be notified, as Jay stated earlier, email, SMS, or through a Google or Microsoft authenticator. But there is no limit, and there's quite a lot to the farm. If anybody would like to sit down and discuss this in further detail, I'm happy to do so.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Yeah, it's not that complex to set up if you already have a domain controller, and you do need more than like 60 or 70 users on one platform. Then obviously server farm is ideal, and with the load balancing, you can have as many application servers. Now you could even go further, and instead of having one farm controller, have two, and then be able to have a round robin type
Mhm,
redundancy between those two uh, gateway servers.
mhm.
And Mike and I have done, we have a setup that we could show you if you're interested in that area to see how that works. We have actually an environment with multiple uh, farm controllers and application servers, and we can show you. But that's not a typical installation. That would be more of a high availability type installation. That majority of our users would be just maybe 5, 10, 20 users with the 2FA maybe enabled, advanced security. And then so here you can have a failover DNS. We have actually tested Constellix with um, our setup, and it works really well. So they do have a DNS service that's very affordable, and it offers round robin. Yeah, this is the Constellix setup. Okay. Okay. Dave, are there any questions we can answer?
No, there are a few questions that I would like
Mhm.
to answer. So whenever you're ready, then I'm more than happy to ask those questions.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. But fire away. Go ahead.
All right, Jay, are you gonna go back into the application, or can I just put you on the screen and we can ask those questions?
No, I can go back to the application here.
Okay. All right. So my first question is, right, you've shown us a lot of information.
Sure.
Um, but just coming back down to the end user and the person or persons that are trying to get this application, I understand they go to the website, they can sign up there. I got that part. But once they get signed up, what is the first thing that they need to do before they even get to where you're showing on the screen right now?
Yes, sure. So when they first download the trial version, they immediately will get an enterprise edition, and so they can run the installation. It's an installer. You install it on either on a Windows 10 Pro or 11 Pro. So it could be installed on one of your machines inside the office, and maybe a development machine that you have, a demo machine that you have. So you can install it on a Windows machine. Uh, could be a Pro 11 or a Pro 10, not on the Home Edition. It will not work on the Windows
Okay.
Home Edition. So once they run the installation, they will have this admin tool available to them. So you have your admin tool here, and so when you run the admin tool, that's where you configure your ports or ports for the access. And in the case, if you want to access this machine from outside, so you by default, I'm using a custom port 42362, but it could be 3389. And then for the web, I'm using um, 443 for my HTTPS. And that's how I was able to get to that login page. So once you install the application, then the question is, do you want to deliver just application or applications, or do you want to give the user a virtual desktop? That's something that you can configure here in the application section, right? So you can come in here and tell that these users will have access to the virtual desktop, right?
Okay.
John and this DW one, they have access to the desktop. Whereas these users um, that I assign to these applications will only be able to run the applications. Once you've done that, you can basically just visit your uh, web page by just going to your IP address, or if you have a subdomain, you visit that subdomain, and then you'll get that login page where you can log into the uh, server. Now your machine becomes a web server, right? As soon as you install
Sure.
TS Plus, your machine becomes a web server with a port that's available for access from outside, and um, and then you can enable the advanced security by default. Mike, I think TS Plus does install the advanced security for you.
Yes, it does. It
It does.
does.
And
I
that
go ahead.
actually led me to my next question
Hmm.
is, so we have all these features. So let's say a user does all this, they get into the system. Can the system, if they are using a virtual desktop, can the system deploy applications other than what you have? Like, can I set it to deploy OneDrive or Teams or something like that?
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. You can do that from the desktop. You can. I'm running this one here is a desktop inside the browser, right? I'm
Okay.
logged into that machine, and I can run anything here. I can run Word. I can run my Navicat. I can run my CodeWorks to create. I can run QuickBooks, Teams.
So I
Everything can
think
do.
I think my question, Jay, was
Mhm,
if I have this program running across 500 end users and
mhm.
they all need, let's just choose a program. Let's say they all need TeamViewer, for hypothetically saying. Can the application deploy TeamViewer to all 500 VDIs?
Yes, it can. But of course, we don't want you to use TeamViewer. We want you to use remote
Sure.
support.
Yeah,
but
that was
but
just
it,
hypothetically an example, right?
yes, you can.
Yes.
I mean, you can run that application. You can run any application. This is your virtual desktop, Dave. So you can run anything you want from that virtual desktop, and it's creating a unique session. Each time somebody logs in, you have to remember that a new session is being created. So then you can run your applications inside your session. And so, yes, you can run any application on that server. So that's why it actually creates a very secure workspace for the users.
Gotcha. Okay.
And users, it's compatible with individual users, user groups, local, Active Directory, AWS, Azure. Nothing's going to stop us there.
Okay.
And just as a quick overview, start to finish, of course, you have your VM and you install TSplus. You install your applications that you're intending to publish. Then you publish them. Jay showed that earlier. And then you assign the users and log in. It's 4
Yep.
easy steps. If you have the prerequisites installed, say Java and .NET, and you run this from a CLI, it takes about 7 to 10 minutes, and it's installed. You're up.
Okay. So then let's move on to another question quickly. So let's say we have end users that are running the entire infrastructure, and they have all their data there and they're using it, sharing it, etc., etc. If that user leaves the company and their interface or their VM is removed from the system, how does one migrate that data to a company backup? Is there a solution there?
Yes, that's a good question. With TSplus, you're using the Active Directory users or local users. So that user is logging in with the credentials that are on that domain. And so therefore, when they leave, all you have to do is just simply delete the user from the Active Directory. Um, there's not much that you have to do besides that, because they're using the applications on the server. So all the data, everything is also being saved on the server, on their Google Drive and on their OneDrive. So that's really all you have to do, right, Mike? There's really not
Yeah.
much else that they need to do when
No.
no, other than
Okay.
just removing that user from the
It,
domain.
some people, depends on who the sysadmin is. Sometimes they just like to simply disable the account, but any changes that you make in AD will be reflected immediately through TSplus.
Yes.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Ja, I'm going to bring you back onto the screen. So let's have a chat with you quickly. All right. Hi, Jay. Hi, Mike.
Okay.
Hi.
All right. So let's just summarize it quickly. We have about a minute and a half left.
Okay.
So someone can go to the website. The website is shown below. They can go to the website, sign up. You will basically allow them to download a enterprise version as a trial option. They can run through it, test it, give it a trial run. Yes, they can sign up for the permanent package or the license or the perpetual licensing that you referenced earlier on, and then install the main application, and from there deploy it out to all these end users, right?
Yes.
You said Active Directory a few seconds ago. I'm assuming the program doesn't only need Active Directory. It can be used in a normal environment, correct?
Yes. Yes. Regular local users too.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
Yes.
So from there, all the users can then deploy the application remote into whatever infrastructure they need, have the applications available, and deploy that to the masses, as you would call it.
Yes.
Deploy it to the masses and essentially make management of an entire company system in one spot and in a couple of clicks. Yes, I understand there's some more configuration, but in a couple of clicks. That's more or less where I'm going with this, right?
Absolutely. I think for most applications in less than 15 minutes, you could have a TSplus installed and configured to deliver one or two applications. And also the other thing that you have to consider is that even though we're not talking about pricing here, just note that the pricing that we have available on our website is perpetual pricing. So that's something also to pay attention to.
Sure. Yeah, we understand. And when someone contacts you, they'll sort that out with you. Very, very quickly, we're a little bit over time here, but my last question I have for you is, if I'm going to deploy this system and I run into some difficulties, which I'm sure people do, who do I contact?
Yes, they will contact our U.S. office, U.S. and Canada office here in Irvine, California. And I don't know if you've put that in that phone number on, but they can contact Mike at TSplus.net, Jay at TSplus.net, and call our main number, 949 number.
Okay, fantastic.
56117701771.
Sure, and that's on your website, right?
That's on the website, yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Jay, thank you so much for all this information. It was a lot of
Yes.
information. It really was.
Thank you.
Takes a bit to kind of process everything there.
Yes.
Before we close, do you have any closing comments for anyone that may be watching this now or in the future?
No, I think that once you visit our website and then contact our office, you will learn more about the product and how your MSP business can benefit from it. We do have a partner program that offers discounts to MSPAA members. So let's talk about that. You can contact us, and we'll be happy to discuss our partnership program and the discounts that we offer to the MSPAA.
Sure, and we'll publish this out to MSPAA members as well. So if you're not an MSPAA member and would like to take advantage of the significant benefit that TSplus gives you and the benefits they give you with that, please, by all means, find them online. It is public. You can even contact them directly.
Yes.
But please go reach out to TSplus at the website below. And then I'm sure if you need to get hold of Jay, his contact information is on the MSPAA website under the TSplus Endorsed Partner section. Jay, thank you so much for this time. Thank you so much for all this insight. I hope you have a fantastic day. I think we'll end this here in a minute. And if anyone else has any questions, please reach out to Jay directly through his website or through the MSPAA contact form. Jay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dave. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
this
you.
concludes the end of this webinar. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.